Hello, my name is Shulamit, and I'm the creator of the MetaSounds process. Every Sunday at noon, I host a Zoom meeting for us to explore wisdom teachings and experience the healing power of MetaSounds. These meetings are made possible by generous donors. Please help this site thrive by liking and subscribing, and please join our newsletter at greatoctave.com to receive notices of our events. It's nice to see you all on this kind of spring day. I just wanted to talk today about change again. When changes are very, very rapid, as they are now, it's very difficult for the mind to grasp, especially when the rug is pulled out from you personally, suddenly, for example, in fires or earthquakes or losing your job suddenly, and so on. Very hard to grasp the reality of that. My daughter was at the World Trade Center on 9/11, and I couldn't get down to her because the city was closed. All the tunnels and so forth were closed, so I couldn't go down to get her. But when I finally did get her, she came up here and she read the newspaper about the explosions and the attack. And she kept saying to me, "So it really happened. So it really happened." She couldn't take it in. So we can't always expect to be able to be immediately resilient to changes that affect us, especially the changes that really kind of say the reality that you knew is finished. And yet I think that's what we're confronting. And certainly personally, it hasn't affected me yet. And I'm sure there are many people that haven't been affected yet. But there are people who have, whether it's environmental disaster or losing your job suddenly, as we've been reading about in the news. You can't quite wrap your hands around it. Eventually, not everybody, some people will never make it back, but there are people who are resilient and who are able to come to grips with it and to rebuild. So the question for each of us is essentially, what is it that you rely on? What is your strength? Mostly our strength is in, we built a home, we built a house perhaps, we built a career, we spent a lot of years building. And we have the rewards of that around us, whether it's through children or through goods or whatever. Some of us have lives where we, do things that are quite pleasing. I don't know, shopping, going to concerts and so on. And there's a rhythm to things, and there's a predictability to things, and things are supposed to happen in a certain order. But with the changes that we're seeing now, and with the changes that are going to be coming very soon and very swiftly, I mean, for example, with AI, there's going to be changes even to people's professions who never expected in a million years that they could be touched. For example, doctors. There's going to be a lot of changes. So what do you hold on to? How do you get through this psychologically whole? How do you remain clear so that you can be resilient? How can you react not out of fear for what's going to happen to you, but out of a sense of faith that although this moment might be very difficult, you can work through it. And it's at those moments when we lose things that we shouldn't, I say shouldn't in quotes, that we shouldn't lose, that we think we shouldn't lose, it's not so much that they're owed to us, but there's an order to life. And things happen in this certain order. Parents die before their children, for example. You work hard for a career, and when you get your papers and your documents, your career is there. It doesn't suddenly transform in front of you, and you become, as the British, I think, call it, redundant. You have to rely on your core. You have to rely on your center. You have to rely on your faith. Now, not everybody has faith in a deity or something beyond themselves, but you still, even if you don't have that, you still can be connected on a core level to your own vibration and its connection to everything that is. Beneath the surface of our lives, beneath our loves and our hatreds and our jealousies and our fears and our dreams and so forth, there is kind of a, I don't know if it's the right metaphor, but kind of a drumbeat. There is something there that is immutable, that doesn't change. You can call it your soul, or you can name it whatever you want, but it is there. And if you can remain in contact with that, you can gain a lot of strength. And I probably mentioned this to you before, but Stoicism was founded by, now I can't remember his name, but Stoicism was founded by a gentleman who was a very prosperous merchant and who lost all of his goods in a shipwreck at the sea. So he was completely busted flat, from being very prosperous. And he started the Stoic movement. And Stoicism says a lot of things, but one of the things it says is don't get excited when things go really great for you, and don't get full of despair when they go against you. Keep solid, keep straight. This is the secret to happiness, to not get thrown off your center. So again, if you are involved or are the unfortunate involvement of a sudden change in your life, it's hard to grasp. It takes months or years. I mean, it depends on the circumstance, and it also depends on what you lost. But it also depends on you. It depends on you, how you respond, clear-eyed, not thinking that God's picking on you, not thinking that somehow you're singled out for this fate, but rather to have faith in hope in your ability to be able to confront the situation and deal with the situation. And to help you, there are a number of systems available throughout all the traditions. And the system of meditation is, if you cultivate a quiet mind, you gain a lot. In addition to reducing anxiety and the obvious things, one of the things you gain is an ability to see the truth about yourself. You can see with honesty what you really want, not what you're told you should want, not what the society describes to you as a great life. A lot of it is false. I mean, this is a culture that is devoted to celebrity and wealth and success and a certain kind of beauty. And our satisfactions are actually often deeper than that. They come from love. They come from connection. They come from caring. They come from meaning. So this particular work that I'm teaching, which is a meta-sounds meditation, allows you to enter into a meditative state without a lot of difficulty. A lot of people complain that they can't do meditation because they can't sit still for long periods of time. They can't silence their mind. They've tried it. It doesn't work. For those who can't, who don't have success with that, you might try this way of entering into a meditative state. And even because it's simple, you're using your breath, your voice. You don't need a guru. You have your breath and your voice to lead you to a connection to yourself and to something greater than yourself, something beyond yourself. And even if, I have done and still do different types of meditation, but I love this way of entering into a very profound connection with something greater than yourself, something that gives you a strong sense that you can walk in this life with humility and kindness and goodness and love in your heart and have a successful life. It connects you to what's solid, and you're bound to lose things. If the first half of life, I mean, this isn't obviously true in all cases, but as a sort of grand statement, if the first half of life is about acquiring partners, acquiring goods, acquiring prestige and comfort and so forth, the second half of life tends to be more about losing. Losing some of the things that you have worked so hard for. They disappear on you, whether it's your business, which gets too much, and you may have built it with tremendous amount of commitment and love, but now it's just something that you don't even really care to do anymore. Your kids may grow up and be the kind of people who maybe you had hoped something different for them, or even if you don't, I mean, they grow up and they're their own people. They're not your kids anymore, right? Everything gets bigger than you. Everything that you built outgrows you. And this is a period of time where there is the possibility, potential for a birth of a higher level of consciousness. The level of consciousness that you've inhabited to that date is fine, but you outgrow it, just like you outgrow a child's body. And then you have to look at the world somewhat differently. What is yours to hold? What is yours to lose? Who are you anyway? Why are you here? Why bother? I mean, all these questions can come up. And of course, the older you get, you have losses of health also. So, to keep steady, to keep vibrant, to keep alive, to view every day as the gift that it is, it's very important to connect to something larger than your ego. And when I say your ego, I'm not talking about the part of you that says, oh, I'm so great, I'm so terrific. The ego is a lot of things. The ego is identity. The ego is opinion. The ego is a lot of things. But it's not you. It's sort of like the clothes you walk around with, but it's not your essence. Every human being suffers, even in times when things aren't changing. And when a human being suffers, we'd like to get out of that. We like to transcend that. We'd like to connect to something higher. We'd like to live in a different place. And that place exists. It's a place of wisdom. It's the place of the higher soul. And you inhabit it. You have it. It's not out there. It's not something that you have to find. You have to find it in yourself. You don't have to find it outside of yourself, because it's all in there. And it's a question of stripping away everything that is not true. It means taking off some of these identities that we have and walking freer. But anyway, I'm going to make the sounds now. So I ask you, as I'm sure most of you have been on before, keep your feet on the floor or some part of your body on the floor if you're sitting on the floor or yoga position or whatever you're doing. But it's important to be grounded and allow the sounds to give you whatever it is that you need. If you want to take a moment and think about what that is, what you'd like to have happen in your life or today, you can do that. For myself, I just want to say that, I don't know, I know it's the beginning of spring, but it shouldn't ideally be affecting allergies, but I do have some allergies, and so my voice is not necessarily always constant, so bear with me. But it's a reminder to you that when you make the sounds, you don't have to be an opera star to make a connection. Okay? All right. You come with what you have. Hey Thank you for joining me today and being part of our community. I invite you to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Time for the full live experience. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit greatoctave.com for more details about these webcasts, our newsletter, donations, and more.